The world of education has not had a revolutionary approach since the 1950s.
Well, my thing is it's already there. I mean, the students are bringing that knowledge with them, and so there's no way that you can keep it out. The difference is going to be, and I know this relates to your second question about whether or not teachers should be trained in it, and my answer there is completely yes. Because this is a fact when you're dealing with specific age groups. And if we're asking these students to respect what we have to teach them, then we need to begin by knowing a little bit about the students and respecting what they already like. And it's not the idea that you would necessarily have to teach this material, but knowing this material is a very good building block to get them interested in other materials. Very often I get students who say, well, I can't understand poetry. But they listen to songs and they listen to hip hop, and they don't understand that there's a lot of overlap in the same kinds of structures and metaphor that you're going to see there. It's also a really good way to talk to them about audience and purpose, which are the two key things you need to know when you're teaching anyone about writing. Who are you writing to, and what is your purpose in writing? So if you start with texts that they're comfortable with, these hip-hop songs, these lyrics, and say, what is the purpose here? Who is the audience? Then it's a lot easier for them to transfer that skill set to what I guess some people would call more academic texts. Our College of Education brought in a person speaking about hip-hop pedagogy earlier this semester. One of my former students, who's actually an award-winning teacher here in Metro, just finished her master's in education through Vanderbilt, focused on educating in urban areas. And one of her major strengths is that she knows, she comes from the same area that her students do. So she was a little bit ahead, but she can meet the students where they are. You can't lead anyone anywhere unless you know where they're beginning. And that's really our job as educators, not to continually say, well, I can't believe you're already here. If we want you here and you started here, then we have to come down here and meet you, because the end point is still the same. So I'm not sure that educators can fully share their area if they don't understand the people they're talking to. Again, and I'm a writing professor, so I'm always going to fall back on that. If your purpose is to educate a group, then you have to know that audience. So obviously educators need to know the audience that they're speaking with. Students feel that there is a huge disconnect between what they know and what teachers want them to do and know in the classroom. And so if that teacher can use the culture, the material that the students already know, then you can build the bridge from what the students know to where you want to get them. When I first started teaching, I had a student who just basically told me, she said, I came to an HBCU to study black writers. And I said, I completely respect that. And then I showed her where one of the Harlem Renaissance poets, whom she just loved his work, if you go back and read what he had to say, he most worshipped John Keats, a 19th century, very white British poet. And so showing her how he took what he gained from that British poetry and applied it to his own experience. And the poet, the Harlem Renaissance poet, was Conte Cullen. And so she came to understand that to fully know the topic she wanted to know, she had to know broader material. But we started with what she knew, what she liked, what she understood as valuable, and then we used that as a bridge to move forward. We used for many years a textbook here at TSU that, alongside all of this famous poetry, including text by that really unknown guy William Shakespeare, we had the lyrics of What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. And I'm sure if we were to redo that textbook now, we would have lyrics from TLC and Tupac, and I apologize, as my students point out, I'm all old school. Erykah Badu, and eventually Janelle Monáe. These artists are very lyric heavy, and these are really a great bridge for the students that if you can listen to this, you can read anything we put in front of you.